All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of A-Town Talk, the number one podcast in Anthony.
The only.
The only one. It's our little slogan. Raleigh's not here with us today, but we got Sel behind the camera
I'm here
in the shadows lurking
as usual.
as usual. And then our guest today is Emily Polinsky.
Polinsky.
Damn it, I told you I was going to
Almost had
butcher
it.
it. Polinsky. She is the social media marketing manager for Wet n Wild Waterworld. Everybody knows Wet n Wild. If you're from Anthony, you've been there millions of times. So thank you, Emily, for being here with us today.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the Magic Lights Christmas event, or what would you label it as?
Yeah. Perfect. Magic of Lights event. Yeah.
Event, yeah. It's going on at Wet n Wild right now. It's going to be running through the month of December. But we'll get to that towards the back end of our episode. But we just want to start off by getting to know you a little bit. Who is Emily? Where are you from? How long you been at Wet n Wild for? And what do you think about Anthony?
Love Anthony. My partner's family all lives here. So I spent a lot of time in Anthony, besides even just working at Wet n Wild. I've worked at Wet n Wild for 14 years now, which is a really long time. But I mean, I love it. I love working at the park. I actually started as a lifeguard when I was
Wow.
16, and I started as a lifeguard very first year. The next year I became a supervisor. Shortly after that, I became the head of the department. So I trained and hired, the full lifeguard staff. So that was about like 130 people.
Mhm.
I did that for about 4 or 5 years. And then I was in college and I was, just doing college stuff. I was going to start doing internships. And Wet n Wild called me back and they said, we want to run an in house social media team and we want to do it all in house.
Mhm.
Will you come back and run it? And my degree is in advertising. So it kind of fit perfectly. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So that was the very
Nice.
next season after I left from being a lifeguard. So I came back and we started that in 2018.
Mm.
So I've been doing all the social media since then, and it's changed a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Holy crap, it
Yeah.
has changed a lot since then. But so I did that for a full year, and then again, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start, doing more internships, focusing even more on my degree. I was gonna start, kind of expanding, and when Well called me back again, and they said the president's assistant retired, she moved away, and they're looking for another person to be the executive assistant. And so I said, well, yeah, okay, let's do it. I didn't have another job lined up. I was about ready to graduate, or was going to graduate at that time.
Where'd you graduate from?
UTEP.
UTEP?
So
Picks
go
up.
miners.
Yeah.
So I graduated from there and I said, well, can I still do the social media team and the executive assistant? And they said, yeah, of course. So then I became both roles in one, the executive assistant and the digital media manager. So in that role, I handled all of our point of sale system. So that goes through like our admissions gates, our
Mhm.
online sales, putting all of like our cabanas and things online, handling some of the website stuff, any of the like online reputation management, anything that the president of the park needed. I would help her run reports and look at like some of the business side and help determine what promotions we're going to run. And I would help audit the lifeguards every now and then. I became an instructor trainer for the lifeguards. So that means that I was certified to train the instructors who then
Mhm.
trained the lifeguards. So I did that all there for several years up until last year. And then I switched roles again. And now I'm full time marketing director.
It sounds like you've done everything there.
I've done a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been involved, had the opportunities to be involved in a lot of the different departments. And it's really great seeing all those different sides of the business
Mhm.
and how they run. And so I've been really fortunate to have opportunities to do that.
That's pretty awesome. How was it like those early days of marketing? Because like you've said, it's changed a lot. Nowadays, it's all through social media and the
Yeah.
internet. And back in the day, it wasn't so much. How was it like back then?
We were doing a lot of social media stuff in 2018. But this was pre TikTok,
Okay.
right? So
This is like on Facebook
it
and
was primarily on Facebook. Yeah.
okay.
So Facebook was really popping back then. We were doing a lot of video very early.
Mhm.
And I almost think we were kind of ahead of the game back in 2018. We were doing a lot of TikTok style videos that you kind of see now where people do like challenges with people. We still do this stuff,
Mhm.
but we were doing it back then. And, you know, they were popular. We would do giveaways and stuff, but never any sort of like mega million views or anything.
Yeah.
And then just over the years, you see as different platforms come up, people are navigating, you know, using those different platforms. So when TikTok came in, I think it kind of got popular around 2019,
Mhm.
but you weren't able to advertise on TikTok yet. So TikTok was still pretty new.
Yeah, it was still doing the
And
dances and all that
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Very organic, very cool.
Yeah.
So like we could use it organically. And so we started doing that and just, you know, not doing any sort of worrying about any sort of paid advertisements or anything. But by the time we got into that, it was 2020 and full COVID, everything, you know, everything is sensitive the way that you talk about it. And, you know, the good thing is that we're an outdoor facility. You
Mhm.
have bright sun, we have fully chemically regulated pool water. I mean, that's you can socially distance like crazy. So we
Yeah.
were fortunate to be able to stay open in 2020. And so for me, when we were doing social media in 2020, I was like, what do we do? I didn't have a full team. I had my one social media coordinator that I still rely on to this day. His name is Eric. And it was him with me, and we had one other guy. And we were like, you know what? Let's focus it all on Freddie. So we made Freddie's own TikTok account. And that first year, we got like 22,000 followers
Holy
in the
shit.
first year.
Wow.
Yeah, doing all stuff exclusively with Freddie. And we still have that TikTok right now.
Mhm.
It still exists. We still post on it a couple times, but it's kind of slowed down a little bit. Now we're then, you know, a couple years later, you are now able to advertise on TikTok, even as a small business.
Mhm.
So then we shifted and now we have a full Wet and Wild TikTok account. So now we have both TikTok accounts.
Do you guys prioritize TikTok over other platforms like Instagram or Facebook now?
I mean, we really try to do stuff for each, but the
Mhm.
things that you do for each one are so different.
Right.
I think TikTok and Instagram are pretty similar, but even like Facebook and Instagram used to be similar in a way, and now they're just totally different. We'll have stuff that, you know, years ago on Facebook did really well, and now it's just
Mhm.
nothing, absolutely nothing. So
Right.
it's kind of like you have to just see where it goes and try to follow it along as best that you can. But yeah, we try to do a lot of social media. We have you know, a lot of our marketing allocated to doing social media, both organic and paid
Mhm.
advertising. So it's really fortunate that, you know, Went Wild is family owned,
Right.
and I don't have to deal with a lot of red tape. I don't have to go through a lot of approval processes. They give us a lot of creative freedom with whatever we want to do. And that's something that not a lot of places do. I mean, a
Right.
lot of places are scared of that. Even within water park spheres, a lot of water parks are actually managed by a management company. So what you would typically think of like a corporation runs
Mhm.
that water park. They're not family owned. They have people not even in the same state that are going to approve your social media posts. And you have to go through them to approve it first. And oh my God, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I don't have to do that. Yeah, our you know, the family owners there, I have a question, I just go right up to him. He's right across from me in my desk and be like, "Hey, what do you think about if I do that?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, do it."
Yeah.
And that's really awesome for them to be like so forward thinking in the way that we use social media, and that they see the importance of social media, and being able to do that sort of stuff is really really cool.
Well, that's cool because I'm thinking to myself, like, as a creator, I that's why I like doing our own thing. We post on YouTube and Instagram, TikTok. TikTok's one of those that we haven't cracked yet. Uh, we usually just re-upload the same things that we do on Instagram. We use the same videos for that. So, I want to be able to figure out TikTok a little bit more for us and like for our platform because I think podcast is so different from other stuff. But yeah, having that creative control to where we decide what we want to post, what we want to do, that's so relieving.
Yeah.
So I can imagine, how cool that is for you. So
Yeah. Really really lucky, really fortunate.
yeah. Um so early on, I remember like the TV commercials from back in the day. The Anthony had
Yeah.
said 0.
Zero.
Yeah. I well, I don't really watch a lot of television, to be honest. Like, so do you guys still do advertisement through like regular media forms, like to TV and stuff like that, radio?
Traditional
Yeah.
radio, like traditional marketing outlets, we do just still do some.
Mhm.
TV, not really though. Not really.
Mm,
Starting like several years ago, we shifted our TV budget into more into social media.
yeah.
But radio, we still do radio. We still do billboards. Don't really do print media anymore. We used to do mailers.
Mhm.
That's kind of like an old school way to do print media. We stopped that, several years ago. I mean, probably like even like 10 years ago, maybe.
Wow.
So it's just kind of crazy the way that things shift over time.
Yeah.
If it makes sense for us to do a TV spot or something, we're open to it. But
Mm.
I couldn't even tell you the last time we did one.
Yeah. I don't remember. Like I said, I don't really watch TV as it is, so
Yeah.
maybe that's a good thing that you guys aren't doing because I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people do. Even my dad, that's older, he's retired now. He watches YouTube
Yeah.
all the time. He's on Netflix and
Yeah. I'm sure people have seen our YouTube commercials in the
yeah.
summer. I have kids telling me that they get so annoyed because they see them so often. And I'm like, well, kind of means it's working.
So you guys run ads through YouTube like Google ads or
hmm
okay.
Yeah, so we do Google ads, typical search, digital, display, and YouTube ads,
Mhm.
and some email ads as well. So it's all a mix of everything, right? And
Mhm.
I mean, we still want to keep some traditional media in there because we do have, like an older demographic, the grandparents or people who, get their things in more of a traditional way that maybe they don't actually use social media. So we still want to do things for them.
Mhm.
A big trend in kind of entertainment spaces or amusement spaces is actually going cashless. And the
Mm.
reason we haven't gone cashless yet is because we still have several people, the older people who use cash.
Mhm.
And, there's people from that Juarez come over and they don't want to buy their ticket online. They don't want to do anything digital.
Yeah.
They just want to come and show up and buy their ticket here. And, you know, so we still are able to provide that. So we're still kind of catering to all those different audiences of where people, are at in their media and what they use and how they want to use that stuff. So
Mm.
we still do some traditional stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty interesting. Dude, we should try to get an ad on TV or on the radio. No.
I mean, I, do you know cost wise? Like, what does that look like?
For like a
We're probably a little
single
ways away from that.
Yeah.
single ad, yeah. I don't know. You'd have to ask them like if you wanted a one-time
Mhm.
thing. And by that, if you're only doing a one-time thing, it's kind of like, what's the point? I mean,
I've thought about even like a
put it on YouTube,
billboard.
put it on TikTok. You
Yeah,
will have more success.
that's true.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask me to buy a billboard or put it on TikTok, put it on TikTok.
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 Wow.
Yeah, or Instagram. If whatever your audience is already using, if you already have kind of a presence on Instagram,
Mhm.
don't bother with the billboard. Go with Instagram.
Oh,
You're gonna get so much more bang for your buck. I
yeah.
promise.
Yeah, that TikTok's really blown up. I know there was rumors about it going away soon, but I don't know if it's gonna
Who knows, right? I
yeah.
mean, who knows? Who knows?
Mm.
I think I've seen a lot of things that people, like Instagram actually has done surveys of people like if TikTok no longer is available in the United States, what platform are you going to use? And a lot of people, there was something like 60% of people said they were going to use Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Instagram's very happy about that.
Yeah.
But, who knows? We'll see what happens. We've kind of gone through this once before with TikTok in the
Mhm.
US and nothing happened after that. But who's to say?
I was watching this it was actually the Theo Von podcast. He had a Mr. Beast on and they were talking about how he went to India. Mr. Beast went to India and I believe TikTok is banned over there.
Okay.
So YouTube and Instagram
Yeah.
is the way to go over there.
Yeah.
And like what do you call it, creators and
hmm
social media people in that area of India, they have like millions and millions of
Yeah.
followers on
Yeah.
those platforms just because TikTok's not there. And
Yeah, and YouTube Shorts is really blowing up right now
yeah.
too. So, it has been kind of for a little bit of time now. And that's one area that we're not, actively using maybe in the best way that we could probably start cross-posting some of our stuff onto YouTube Shorts.
Hmm.
And that might help us a little bit just reaching stuff where, I haven't, traditionally used our YouTube account like a normal creator would use their
Hmm.
YouTube account. So, that might be something for us in the future that we could look into doing.
Yeah, that would be interesting to do. Like have a business like Wet and Wild have a traditional YouTube account. And I mean, I think about like the type of content you guys could post. That could be very interesting.
Yeah, I think it would have to be like some sort of series or
Hmm.
I don't know, something, but whatever it would be, we would want to do it fun,
Yeah.
right? I mean, in any of the stuff that we make now, I'm constantly just like, well, is it fun? Like, would you want to watch this? Is it fun? Are you having fun when you make it? And if you are, then that's a good sign.
I want to talk about events that you guys host there because when we think about Win and Wild, we think of it as like a seasonal thing, right? Just
Yeah.
summer. But now you guys are expanding from that. The light is one of those, but you also host several events throughout the year. One of those was the neon paint party this
Yep.
year.
Yep.
That
Neon Paint came back.
yeah.
Neon Paint's really a collaboration. It's not solely just us.
Hmm.
We have great partners that we work with, and they do so much of the work, really all of it for Neon Paint, and we're really kind of like the host location and managing the operations of, the night actually when it's happening.
Hmm.
So we have some really great people that we've worked with for several years. I think, ooh, I might get the number wrong, but I think it was like the 12th or 13th year of Neon Paint Party because
Yeah.
it was I think it was like we took 2 years off from COVID. They weren't sure if they were going to bring it back or not, and they brought it back in 2023 and pretty successful, so we brought it back again in 2024 and then we got like a huge turnout.
It was
It
insane.
was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've never like ever sold out
Hmm.
of anything before. I mean, we're a huge park. We have huge amounts of space. We can hold tens of thousands of people, and we've never sold out of an event. And this year's neon paint sold out, and it caught us all by surprise.
That is
Yeah, we
crazy.
sold out by like 6 p.m. the day of, and the event doesn't even open until 8 p.m. So it was crazy. Yeah, so I know that we have some like plans of working out how do we, make it so that doesn't happen again, or we can, host everybody who wants to come and
Hmm.
not have big lines or things like that. So, but neon paint's really fun. I've been there. I've gone to almost every neon paint, or worked every neon paint since they first started it, and it's really cool to see how much it's grown. And we had some really cool artists, like even back then,
Hmm.
they have a knack for getting artists who become very big
Yeah.
on their journey, so like just kind of starting out, they have some hype, they have some following, and but maybe they're not national news yet or something, and they really have a good knack of finding those artists and getting them right at the right time and to come to Win and Wild because we've had some really cool artists come through Win and Wild and people are like, what, they came to Win and Wild?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah.
Well, it's funny because so this was back in July, right? Or June or
Yes,
July?
June or July.
Yeah, around there.
July, actually, yeah.
We started the podcast in January, so we were a couple of months in at this point. Shout out Ale because she's the one that hooked us up with being able to be there. And she told me like, "Hey, I got this event. Like, do you want to help promote it on your page?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And she's like, "Well, do you guys want to shoot a podcast here?" I was like, "Oh, like that would be cool."
Yeah.
But at this point, it was more like me thinking like, "Yeah, let's do it," and I didn't
Mhm.
think like the logistics of it because I
Yeah.
hadn't been around that long. So come day of, actually, I invited some other local podcasters, Misa and Chewy from the Takeover Show, to join us on it because I wanted to build some buzz. And we get there, and we see the line to get in. We're like, holy shit!
Yeah.
And I got there a little later. This was another thing where I didn't think it was gonna be that big. So I'm like, we can get there, on time or maybe like a couple minutes, like
Yeah.
30 to an hour before. Hell no, this thing was
Yeah.
packed. So just getting in, we were lucky enough. We were able to go through like the side, like the secret
Mhm.
door.
Yeah, our
Um,
vendor secret entrance.
yeah, so we got like VIP parking. We started setting up. We had our little cabana booth right by
Yeah, the wave pool
the
cabana.
wave pool cabana, and that was really cool because we had the backdrop and everybody's there having a good time. The DJs were off to the far right, but I at the moment it was just me and one of my other co-hosts Raleigh setting up, and I got like sensory overload where it was like too much for me and
Yeah.
I couldn't
Had
Like,
you not been to a neon paint before?
no, first neon paint
Wow,
party,
that's one heck of a one to go to.
and it was just I had to worry about all that. I had to worry about setting up the cameras and, getting the podcast ready to
Yeah.
go, and it was just a lot. We ended up shooting for and then the other thing was, like, the music was really loud, so we had to be, like, yelling on the mics, and it was just an experience. Um, I think, overall, as, like, content-wise, it wasn't the greatest for us because it was so much. I just was overwhelmed, but it was a great experience, and I would definitely wanna do it again, but now I know what I'm getting into,
Yeah.
and I know how to make it better and, avoid some of
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah, the first time that you do anything
Mhm.
is a huge learning curve.
It
I mean,
was,
even
yeah.
for us with the Magic of Lights event, the first time that you do anything, you're really just learning at that
Mhm.
point. And you don't know what you don't know until you do it.
Mhm.
And then now, like you said, now that you did it, now you know how your setup you want to be, or maybe you want to be located at a different spot,
Yeah.
or you
For
needed like
sure.
an extra power hookup that you didn't realize you needed, or whatever.
Mhm.
And yeah, and once you do it a second time, you're gonna be like, got this.
Yeah, I was all over the place on that one. At one point, uh, camera got out of focus, and I got up to fix it, and then it was bad, but it was fun. We had a blast. We stuck around. Um, we hung out. People were trying to jump into our cabana to get into the pool. We're like, no, 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 go back of the line.
I saw you guys try to sneak a follow for, you can pass through our entrance if you follow the
Oh yeah,
podcast. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So Misa and Chewy, people, because at some point they didn't care. They were just
Yeah.
jumping over. I'm like, all right. They're like, hey, so you guys, if you're gonna do this, you got to subscribe. You got to follow us. And
Yeah.
we gained a few because of that. But it was fun, and yeah, stuff. We need more stuff like that around here.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
What other events you guys have any up and coming events other than the lights, or maybe next year? Anything you can talk about?
I know that we're trying to plan a pretty big event for Memorial Weekend,
Mhm.
but I don't think I can like say too much to give anything
Okay.
away, but hopefully we'll have a pretty big event for Memorial Weekend next year.
Mhm.
We have kind of like our traditional events, 4th of July fireworks, so we always go to the 4th of July parade here in Anthony.
Yeah.
Um Concerts and stuff. Sometimes we have things planned at events, and sometimes they just happen.
Mhm.
Like I said, there's an artist coming through town. And it's like, oh, can we get him? Can we get him? Like, so sometimes we know ahead of time, and sometimes it's just on the fly. I don't think we have a schedule right now other than the Memorial Weekend one that might happen.
Mhm.
But of course, our fireworks show, and even with the Christmas thing, like I said, it's like our first year doing this type of thing, and we're working with another company. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I know for years, Wet and Wild has wanted to do, additional programming things in the off season.
Mhm.
But it's pretty hard. I mean, it's the first year that we're actually doing something like this.
Yeah.
So the first year you do anything, like I said, it's an uphill battle to get people to even know that it's happening.
Mhm.
Usually get a little bit more success the second year after people have gone the first time.
Yeah.
But it's still really fun. I mean, even if, we're not able to do this specific event, I know that in future years we want to do more events during our off season. So hopefully we'll be able to do some bigger, better things.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have the space for it for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just really about what can we do?
Yeah.
What can we do?
Back in the day, you guys used to do what was the big one? Was the Balloon Fest, wasn't it?
Oh, Balloon
That was
Fest.
that was like years ago. It's been a
Yeah.
while. And what are the chances of you guys ever bringing that back?
So the Balloon Fest again, like a lot of the events that we do, we're working with other partners. So
Mhm.
Balloon Fest is obviously with whoever was running Balloon Fest at the time,
Mhm.
they had to change the location due to I think the freeway being expanded,
Um,
and
Damn it, I-10.
and they needed a different landing strip from, so it was like that's just from the things that I know about it. I don't know everything that went on in that, but I know that we were all pretty sad to have it go. I mean, it was kind of a long running tradition to have Balloon
Was.
Fest at Wet and Wild. But so I think it really had to do with the where the balloons took off, their clearance and their landing areas. If for some reason that changed in the future, I'm sure we'd be more than happy to have them back.
Mhm.
But that's just limited off of what I know from what I've heard. But I know people love Balloon Fest.
Yeah, I remember waking up because it used to be like Saturday mornings, right? It was like in the morning.
Yeah,
You wake up and then you just look outside and you see all the balloons taking off, and it was so
yeah,
cool.
yeah. It was really, really cool event that they did. I don't even know how many years it was, but it was for a long time, and I've loved seeing all the photos from that
Hmm.
events. They're really cool.
Is it the same balloon fest that happens in Albuquerque, or is that a
I
different
think it's
one?
a different one.
Okay.
Um, but I'm not 100% sure,
Mm.
but I want to say that it might be different.
Oh,
Um, I don't know.
yeah, because that one's gotten really popular now too.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't even been out to that one, but I
Me either.
wanted to.
Yeah.
I want to go at some point and see him.
So the Magic of Lights, how did that come about for you guys?
So Magic of Lights is like I said, it's a different like a third party company,
Uh
and
huh.
this is what they do. They have a couple other events. They actually have 23 locations like all around the US.
Hmm.
So last year they were actually at the Camp Cohen Water Park over on the east side,
Okay.
and the parking lot of Cohen is going to be under construction now that the city is going to build that big amphitheater.
Oh.
So the Magic of Lights was at Camp Cohen last year, but because of the parking lot construction, they were just not able to do it there. So they reached out to us, and I think they were looking at a few other venues around town, with big parking lots.
Hmm.
And I don't know what other companies they were looking at. I just know that they had reached out to us, and you know we were in the talks with them since the summer, and it just all kind of worked out, and we were kind of open to doing it, and they were open to doing it, so it was just kind of like, all right, let's do this thing. So we always wanted to offer some sort of other event in the
Hmm.
winter, like I said, so it was kind of a cool opportunity for us to try it out, and see how it goes, and without us having to buy millions of stuff of equipment and things
Right.
like that, then we're not even sure if it's, going to work out or something, or what do we do? We've never done that before. We've never set it up. They are the experts in this. They have done it all across the country. They have everything. They
Hmm.
have the staff who knows exactly what they're doing, exactly how to set it up. So, it was just kind of like a perfect opportunity for us to try it out. I know we're really excited to have it, really excited to offer it.
Hmm.
It'll be up to them if we're able to continue that partnership or not,
Yeah.
because like I said, they're kind of like a touring thing. They do a bunch of different
It's
locations
like a
around the
modern day
US.
circus.
Yeah, yeah. So, fingers crossed, and even if we're not, we would love to do still more holiday things in the future, whether, I don't know what that would look like yet, but it's something that I know we want to do.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. We were lucky enough to be able to join you guys on uh the opening night. It was cool. We got the mayor was there. He's pushed the button and the lights turned on, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was really fun. I got to go through the experience, and one of the things, you know, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into,
Yeah.
and once we went through, like, it's a pretty good ride. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's lengthy. That was the thing that caught me. I I ended up timing it. It was about 20 minutes or so to get
Yeah.
um through the whole parking lot. But it's pretty cool, and I think you definitely, get your money's worth
Mhm.
from it.
Especially if you pack your car,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's if you see it in that way, it's really not bad. It's a pretty good value because you can pack literally however many people. So just get your cousin or somebody in your family that has the biggest car,
Yeah.
and
Rent
I'll
rent a
pile
limo.
in that one.
Just rent out a stretch
They do
limo.
actually have like limo pricing. I'd have to look online what that one is, but they do have like school bus pricing. You could literally pack a school bus.
What?
But it's pretty cool. Yeah, I went through the other night. And I heard somebody say that some people in Anthony were being like, "Oh, well, I don't need to go because I can see it from my house." And
My
I'm
dad.
like, you
That's my
can
dad.
see it from your house, but until you drive through it, you actually don't get the full
You
experience.
don't, right?
You can only kind of see it from one dimension, and when you go through it, you actually get to see the full setup, and you're
Mhm.
driving kind of through the lands of the lights and seeing all the different pop-ups and things that you really can't see from just even Wildcat or the highway or something. So
Yeah.
it's definitely worth it. Try to look for our website on different discounts that we have, because there's always at least some form of discount going on. It changes every couple of days, but there's always a discount. So, if people haven't done it yet, they should go online and get the discount and pack their car, and that's the best value.
What are the price ranges right now?
So I think the price just went up, like the base price just went up to $24 online.
Mhm.
But I think we have like a $5 off coupon that's running right now, through the end of this weekend. And we're, like I said, we're just gonna have several discount options. We have discounts in the weekdays for like military and first responders on Mondays. And then on Tuesdays with any ticket, you can actually drive through the lights 2 times. So
Oh.
that's a good deal. You can go twice. And then I think on Wednesdays, it's teacher night.
Mhm.
So teachers will get $5 off the gate price. But either way, it's usually cheaper to buy your ticket online. So if you're able to, I would tell people go buy it online.
Mhm.
There are some fees, and those are all set up by the company of the Magic of Lights.
Mhm.
But even with the discounts or just buying it online, you're still going to get a better price than buying it at the gate. I think the gate price for weekdays are $30 and then weekends is 35. But like I said, online right now you could get it for 24, and if you get it with the coupon, that's $5 off, so it's really only 19. And if you pack your car, that's for 20 bucks. It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. No, it is. Um, you were so nice and you gave me a ticket the other day and well, I had gone through the lights already, so I gave it to my sister to take
Yeah.
my little nephews and they loved it. My nephew loved the dinosaur part 'cause yeah,
Yeah.
he was so
That was
excited.
my favorite part too.
Yeah,
I
the
loved it. I was
dinosaur.
like, "Oh, wow, this is cool. A little
Yeah.
prehistoric Christmas thing, and they've got different dinosaurs and some of them are moving and stuff." So,
Yeah.
yeah, those are pretty fun. Yeah, they have a bunch of different like lands to go through, and it's something like 2 million lights in just our one event, that they do. So, it's a lot of lights. I
Yeah.
mean,
That
it's
is a lot
it's
of
pretty
lights.
cool. Yeah. I hope in the future we can do something inside the park, like a Christmas kind of market or something.
Like a Christmas Wonderland thing would be cool.
Yeah, yeah,
That'd be
that's aspirational for me.
mm.
If we're able to do that, I would love to do that.
Showtime.
All right. Well, we're back. We had to take a little break due to some technical difficulties, but we're managing and hopefully we can make it through the rest of this pod. But we were talking about your social media team during our little break, and I was I met them the day of the lights. So you want to talk a little bit about them, like how many people do you work with
Yeah.
and all that stuff?
Yeah, I'm really fortunate to even have a social media team. I
Hmm.
mean, a lot of small businesses or things, it's a one person show a lot of the time. In the off season, it is a one person show, but in the summer, I love having my team. I rely on them a lot. They have great ideas. I have 4 people that do the social media team. So I have videographers, and I have a little TikTok star, and I have a photographer, and then I have our whole Freddie team, and even extended through our other employees.
Hmm.
We have a lot of our other employees have their own TikTok accounts, and they make videos with themselves and their respective departments and things. And we rely a lot on our employees to make social media content. So we really couldn't do it without my team, and I couldn't do it without the other employees who are in our videos and say yes to some of our crazy ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
So I really could not do it without them. I'm really, really glad that we have really great employees, really in our entire park.
Yeah, and your videographers, do you give them like a set goal, like, okay, this is what I want my videos to look like, or you just give them freedom as well and kind of trust their skills? How much freedom do you give them?
I would say a good amount.
Yeah.
They would probably tell you that I always say no to their ideas, but that's not true. We just have so many ideas
Yeah.
is what happens, that then we have to boil them down, right?
Hmm.
But I'm usually pretty open to any idea. A lot of the times we will sit and we'll just have like a little brainstorm session, and I actively tell them like what are you liking on TikTok right now? What are you seeing on Instagram right now?
Hmm.
What's trending? What's funny? Like, show me what you're looking at. Show me your feed. Show me a video that you really liked. And then we say, okay, how can we do that at the park? Or how can we make that relevant to Wet and Wild?
Yeah.
And so then we brainstorm on that, and they come up with a lot of great ideas, and it's really just a collaborative effort. And then once they have kind of like a roadmap, like, okay, we have 3 video ideas that we really want to do, and I'll be like, okay, uh this team, you're going to work on that idea, this team, you're going to work on this idea, and then we're going to meet back up and after lunch, or we'll eat lunch together or something. And then they show me what they filmed, and then we're like, okay, oh, it would be really funny if you did this instead, or oh, what if you added this, or maybe that location didn't work, okay, what other location could we do instead? And then we go reshoot, refilm stuff,
Mhm.
and then we come back, and then they're ready to edit stuff, the rest of the day, or we're just kind of a constant flux of that kind of
Yeah.
idea generation, and going out and film, or finding locations, finding employees to be in our videos, and or customers, or if we're going to do a giveaway or a contest, or I don't know, anything really.
Yeah.
um yeah, it's just that's kind of how it works.
For, like, the number of videos, do you guys have like, a set number of videos you guys wanna pump out a week? I know for ideally, for, like, social media platforms, they tell you to try to post one every day to
Yeah.
grow. Do you guys do you follow anything like that, or
Once upon a time, we did follow kind of a quota of
Mhm.
like our goal was 3 videos a day. And sometimes, I mean, we were doing like 5 videos a day. This was
Holy
like
shit.
2018.
Yeah.
We don't do stuff like that anymore because what ended up happening is that we were too focused on quantity. So we were
Mhm.
too focused on hitting that quota of getting 3 posts every day, that then our posts became just kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
They weren't really anything that special. POVs of going down a slide, but that's it. And maybe it was like 30 seconds long, and then it's like, well, it's kind of boring, really. So, over the past like 2 years, I've really started to focus more on the quality of our content. And what I found is that we're still pumping out a lot of content. I mean, we're still actually making something like over 180 videos last year that we made.
Wow.
So, and that was like, I was not setting a quota. We may have goals of things, like we do want to post one a day. Sometimes we're posting 2 times a day. It's kind of like the natural feel of what are is on like our list idea, which ones are we really excited about, and then okay, when are we going to post those ones? What's our goal to have those ones ready? And sometimes we don't meet them because we're like, oh, yeah, I really needed this one lifeguard, but they're on vacation. Be like, oh, okay, can we do it with another lifeguard? Or no, no, they're just too good. We're gonna wait until they get back. And
Yeah.
so we're just like, okay, we're gonna move that one down into our schedule until we can film it the way that we really want to do it, and get it to where we're really happy with it, before we're ready to kind of post it and do that kind of thing. And then stories are a completely different thing. Stories, I do tell them, like, I want 8 to 10 stories every single day.
Just go nuts with it.
Just go nuts with it.
Yeah.
Just go have fun. And they get sick of doing stories. Because when you're at the park and you work it every single day, you kind of struggle to find a new way to do it, right?
Yeah.
But then I just go and tell them, like, get somebody else to help you. Give it to a lifeguard and have them do 10 stories or something.
Mhm.
There's really no limit that I put on them. So I think that kind of helps also keep the ideas flowing and keep it fresh, and things like that. And I just want them really to have fun when they're doing it, because if they're not having fun at a water park, I mean, we're doing something wrong.
Yeah. And that's what I was telling you before the interview, that I love your guys' content. I feel like it's really leveled up. It's really good stuff. It's funny. It's trendy. A
Yeah.
lot of you guys do follow a lot of, like, the TikTok trends and stuff like that. The stuff with Freddy's really good.
Yeah, always trying to. I mean, it's kind of like you're never going to be the best, but I
Mhm.
just want to be good for where we're at, and I want people to enjoy it, and I want, I love it when people tell me that they saw it and they thought one was super funny. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we're
Yeah.
doing something right.
And something I've learned in this journey is just consistency is the key. You got to be consistent, so that when you were talking about how you dialed back and just going for more quality product, I think that's great. You focus down, and let's say you only do 3 to 5 videos a week, but
Mhm.
they're consistent and they're all bangers, and I think that'll will go a long
Yeah.
way, rather than just, story, 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 and all this and that.
Yeah, and like I said, when I stopped worrying about the quota,
Mhm.
we still met it without even thinking about it, because then our focus was on the idea, right? What's the cool idea? What are we
Hmm.
going to do? And then we just had we have a big board and we're just writing all the ideas on the board. And then, every day I, put it on a calendar and be like, okay, which one are we filming today? And by doing that, it just sort of naturally happened that we ended up making or exceeding the amount of videos that we were able to do even before when I was worried about a quota. Because then the focus was on having fun and doing funny things and ideas and stuff like that instead of worrying about like, oh my God, I don't have a post up today or something.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something right now?
I was going to just ask, like, where you draw the influence from, because I know, you're talking about like the social media that's out there and what you do, but like what influences how you put that content together?
Um, I think, like I said, just the idea if they really have fun with it, I encourage them, even other employees, to give me ideas for videos. Like, I'll go around and ask people all the time, like, what do you see that's funny right now, or like, what's your favorite video that you saw recently, or stuff, and I'll have them even just at home, or like if they're on a lunch break or something, I'm like, spend 20 minutes right now and just scroll through TikTok. Like,
Hmm.
just scroll through TikTok, and any video that you think is funny, send it to our Instagram account or our TikTok account. And then we're going to look at it together as a team and then figure out, okay, how can we make this work? Or does this make sense? And not all of them make sense. Sometimes there's ideas that we think are super funny, but then I think about it more and I'm like, well, it doesn't really fit,
Yeah. Doesn't translate.
yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't, how does it fit to the park? And if it doesn't fit to the park, then that's when I'm struggling to find the connection between a certain idea. So usually that's the guideline. They have to convince me that it can connect to the park in some way, and if they can do that, it's a go.
Hmm. And do you plan on expanding your team, or do you feel like you're good with what you have right now?
I'm pretty comfortable with the team that we have right now. I think really where I want to expand more is getting more of our employees involved.
Hmm.
Doing some sort of there's UGC, there's user generated content, and that's typically like customer side, and we really try to get that. But it's hard, right? It's hard to get how do you make customers to make content for you? We've tried a couple things, but it's really difficult. But now with, we were talking earlier about our younger employees have grown up with TikTok. They've grown up with constantly being on their phones, and some of them are making really cool stuff just on
Hmm.
their own. So I'm like, okay, how do I get more employees, who are not going to be on my social media team, but they're organically just naturally making this stuff on their own with their friends? How
Yeah.
can I get them to make some videos for us, and how can I get their input on what we do? So I think that'll be a pretty big focus for us in 2025, is how we can get more of our employees involved in that way, and kind of bringing them into the social media sphere, but they can still do their own departments. A lot of them have their friends in, if they're the lifeguard department, they're the admissions or food and beverage. They maybe don't want to leave their position. They want to stay as a lifeguard. But
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, well, maybe, what if you make me a video like once a week or something, or once every 2 weeks, or when you have a funny idea or something, and then, tell me about it, or I'll come to you, and, how can we get involved in things like that and making more employee generated content. And I think that'll be really fun.
Excuse me.
Do you guys do anything like different to try and attract customers from Mexico?
From Mexico, I would say not usually. We do get a lot from Juarez, but I don't do any specific, targeted marketing to Juarez. Um but we actually do get a lot of audience from in New Mexico. So
Hmm.
higher up into New Mexico, like Albuquerque, or some from Santa Fe, or like Rio Rancho. We get, a couple of big families up from higher in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And we still do get people from Juarez all the time. We've had several employees that work in Juarez that come and, oh, sorry, they live in Juarez, but they come and work at Wet n Wild. Um, but any like specific targeted marketing, I can't say that we do. We used to in the past, but
Hmm.
not so much.
Yeah. It's the cool thing about When a Wild being here in Anthony, like the location is that we're so centered to
Hmm.
Las Cruces, El Paso, so we get all the traffic from in
Yeah.
all the areas.
Yeah, you're literally in the middle of these huge, like, tri-state area
Yeah.
kinda thing. So it's really cool, the location, I think some people even think that the drive is sometimes too far, and, I don't know, I think that that's just a kind of a perception, really,
Mhm.
even because I live on the West Side, and it takes me 15 minutes to get to work. I mean, to get to Wet n Wild.
Yeah.
And I know other people on the West Side, they're like, "Oh my god, it's so far, like, it's so far," and I'm like, "I go to work every day, and it takes me 15 minutes to get there," so, it's really not much far. Like, I think maybe people haven't been in, several years, and they remember it being really
Being
far,
far,
but
yeah.
then once you actually drive out, you're like, "Oh, it wasn't actually as far as I thought."
Did all the I-10 construction, like, impact you guys this year?
I don't know if I could say, like, if it impact actual, like, business numbers. I know it just impacts the way that you feel about going somewhere. I mean,
Mhm.
even if I wanna go to the east side, I'm looking up the construction on the east side,
It's
but
terrible.
and the construction here on this it sucks.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I hope that, it's probably gonna take another year or so. I mean, I
Mhm.
heard that in the next year, it might be pretty big, as they kinda go down I-10 towards us.
Mhm.
But, I'm hoping it's a temporary pain. And just
Yeah.
once it's done, it's done. And, hopefully people will still come by.
So we work at the outlet here, and this summer there was days where it was like it was bad. Especially there was one day. I remember there was a rollover accident. One of the
Oh,
semis like rolled into I-10, and it just they closed down,
yeah.
and I remember being at work. I'm like, "Where's everybody at?"
Yeah. They're
And
stuck on
then
the highway.
they're all stuck on the highway. So yeah, that's
Yeah. And even then, like, what do you do about it?
mhm,
There's nothing we can do about that. We just keep doing what we're doing and try to give people the best information about how to come in and where's the traffic going to be, where's not going to be, what
mhm,
exits open, what's not, and we can only kind of do so much.
yeah. We were talking about Freddy the Frog, and you were telling me that you have two guys that work the suit, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Um, and you were saying how like these guys, poor dudes, they're wearing this suit in the summer with weather here in El Paso getting up to like 100, and them doing all the content. They still kill it with it. They're
They're
still out there.
troopers. They're the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah,
They
they
are
they
the
need a raise.
best.
I say let's give
They
them a raise.
Yeah, no,
Just
absolutely.
kidding.
Absolutely. They do such good work. They're such good sports. We're just such good people at
Mhm.
Wet n Wild. I mean, honestly, we just have such good employees
That's awesome.
that work with us year after year. I'm really blessed to have the people that we have. They're going out there in 100-degree weather, and they're showing up for kids every single day,
Mhm.
and they never complain. They never, give me, there's never sort of like this attitude of like, oh, I don't want to work, or oh, I hate my job, or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
they honestly, like, it's a team effort. I'm constantly asking them, what do you need? Like, did you eat lunch? Did you take a break? How many waters have you drank today? And, where's the ice vest? And they're like, no, 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 I'm good. I'm good. Oh, I just had a snack. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You're gonna sit down and you're gonna eat, and I'm gonna watch you eat.
Hydrate.
And I'm gonna watch you drink this bottle of water. You're gonna drink it in front of me so that I know you're hydrated. But I'm just really blessed by all the staff that we have,
That's awesome.
in every department. They're just so great.
Where do you see the marketing and all the media going with Win and Well the next couple of years?
Like I said, probably more towards, user generated content or employee generated content. I'm really looking forward to that. Other ways that we can get in front of people that maybe are not as traditional, or some, just any sort of way that we can kind of connect with people where they are. With their families and things like that, I think was really promising. I don't know in terms of, exactly what media that's going to be,
Mhm.
as it changes over time, just kind of keeping up with it, and yeah, just trying to be kind of proactive
Stay
and where we're at.
hip with the times.
Yeah, stay with it as much as possible. I mean, we're a family business.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, we're kind of I mean, when you think about it, like, we are a small business. I mean, we're family owned. A lot of people think that we're this big thing, and
Mhm.
we're not Six Flags.
Yeah.
Some people are like, "Oh, just go to Disney instead." And I'm like, "Well, okay, well, we're not Disney, okay? Like, let's calm down." But if you just want to have a good time with your family and you want to stay local and not drive so far, not spend so much money, I mean, it's a really cool thing to do with your family. You can come, you spend the whole day. You can have cookouts. Have plenty of time to do it, all day activity kind of thing. So, really just providing something more for families. We're constantly trying to evolve and improve the park. We do updates and maintenance to the park every single year. Every year, we're looking at the years ahead and what are we going to add to the guest experience and what attractions can we bring and what improvements can we make to the park. So that's just constant ebb and flow
Mhm.
of improvement. And we're a family owned business, so we can't do everything all at once. But
Yeah.
every year we're just kind of working that goal and getting closer, getting closer, getting closer and improving. And, in 2023, we built our tarantula tailspin ride. So we just brought that.
Nice.
And I've worked at the park for a long time. Every 3 years, like clockwork, we bring a big attraction every 3 years. And in between that time, we're doing constant improvements to the park. We're adding things to the park. Adding little like selfie stands or tiling a walkway or adding cement here or repairing a cabana here or adding another cabana here, and we're just constantly doing that stuff. So it's really cool to see on the back end that they really care about improving the experience for everybody there. What can we do for families? How can we make their lives easier when they come to the park? What can we offer them? um you know we've looked at mobile food ordering for several years now. We're still trying to figure that part out. We want to kind of expand our food offerings or our
Mobile food,
entertainment.
like DoorDash, like having people.
No, so, like, where you could order a funnel cake on your phone.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, and then we
nice.
come and bring it to your cabana or something?
Mhm.
So, we've been working on that for a couple years. It's all things that we have on the horizon that, these are what we wanna do,
Mhm.
and every year we get closer to doing those big things. So, we're gonna this year we retired our Raging Rapids ride. I don't know if
Mhm.
you guys saw that.
No, I didn't see that. No.
So, that was one of the oldest slides at the park.
Is that the one that's like on the mat? You sit on the mat.
That one is the rapids one where it's on a tube and you kinda go through like a whitewater rapid kinda thing.
Oh, okay, okay.
And, so that was built in, like, 1980. So it was, like,
Oh.
barely the 2nd or 3rd or 4th slide built ever at the park. So we've that, slide got retired this year, and so we're looking to the future for probably not 2025, but maybe 2026. We're gonna build a whole new area in that space, for families, so we're excited about that. So, yeah, it's just all these
Mhm.
things that people don't maybe see in the back end immediately, but we have in our plans to constantly add and constantly improve the guest experience and what we can offer them. So I'm excited for those things.
Do you have a favorite ride? Like an all-time
Ooh,
favorite one?
I really like the tarantula tailspin.
I
that
haven't I
that
haven't been on
You
it.
gotta go
Yeah.
on it. So a lot of people love it because they call it like the rainbow ride.
Uh-huh.
So it has what's called an aqualucent special effect, and it's
Okay.
different colored fiberglass into the slide directly. And so when you go through it, it looks like you're going through a rainbow tunnel.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I would say before that slide, Amazon was probably my favorite, and it's just the slide right next to it.
Mhm.
And now that we have Tarantula, I'm like, oh my God, Tarantula is so cool. I love that ride. And our big rides like Condor Secret, the one with big wall,
Yeah.
that one's also fun to go on. I love all the rides.
I haven't been in Winterwell, like, in 2 years maybe, just because like, been busy, work, and get older, it's like, on my days off, I just wanna, like, lay
Yeah,
down
yeah.
or something, but yeah, I haven't tried the 2 new rides that have been on there,
hmm
um,
Yeah, you gotta go at least to check out
I'm gonna
Tarantula Tailspin because
I'm gonna
it's
have to go
it's
this
fun.
summer, yeah.
It's fun. It's not, and people are sometimes think it's like a super high thrill ride. Like, no, it's not a high thrill ride, but it's visually very stunning. It's
Mhm.
visually stunning ride. It's a very cool, interactive kind of ride in that way. And
Mhm.
you can ride a double rider, so you can take it with a friend or
Oh, that's
something.
cool.
Yeah.
You know which one I've always been scared of? Is the Screamer.
Really? Scream?
Yeah.
Have you gone down?
No, I've never been
Never.
on it.
Oh, it's like a rite of passage.
I've never been even when I was younger, I would try to, like, avoid I gotta go with my friends and be like, "Oh, let's go on the Screamer." Like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll meet you guys over there. I'm gonna go get a funnel cake or something."
Yeah.
I
It
was always
looks
scared.
it looks more scary than it is.
Yeah.
And actually our other ride, Soaker,
Mhm.
it actually has a steeper incline than Screamer does.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people think that Screamer some people even think that Screamer is like a free fall. We don't actually have a free fall ride, but,
Mhm.
the closest thing to a free fall would be Soaker because you actually come down and you go pretty good incline down, and then you skid across the water. And that one I would think has a steeper incline than Screamer actually does. But of course, Screamer's taller, so
Yeah, and I think it's just the fact that you're not, like, on a pad or anything, it's just
yeah, body
you
slide.
body slide, and you walk out with a wedgie.
I know so many people call it the wedgie, it's
Yeah.
funny.
Have you been on the Screamer, Sal?
I haven't, man.
No?
No, same thing as you, man.
Scared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's one of those rites of passage. It's like, if you live in Anthony, you go down, you gotta go down Screamer at Went Wild. Come on.
Yeah. What's your favorite slide, Sal?
I like the one with the wall. What's the Condor Secret?
Condor's Secret? Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's really fun.
That one, my kids love to go there, and so that's one that we can all get on
Hmm.
and go down. So pretty cool.
Yeah, and there's been a big focus on that actually in the
Mhm.
past couple years of adding more attractions that families can do together all in one ride vehicle or a
Mhm.
raft. So we've added several new slides that families can do together like that. So that's been a big focus for the park as well.
If you had, like, a dream ride that you've seen out there that you would that you if they told you, like, "You know what? We'll give you this ride," what ride would it be, or
Oh my
do you have anything
God, a
like that?
dream ride?
Yeah.
Water coasters are pretty cool. I would say
Oh,
those are
yeah.
really popular. Nowadays they're becoming more popular. There's some really cool stuff that people are doing with water coasters. So it's just like a normal water slide,
Mhm.
but you actually have some sections that are uphill, and
Mhm.
it gets pushed by jet streams of water. So that's what actually pushes you up to
Mm.
the uphill. And those are really cool. They have some that are actually dual. So there's two riders in a raft and there's two next to each other and you can race each other down the water coaster and it has their own separate paths and then they meet up and you can kind of see them through the tunnel
Yeah.
and then you kind of race to the bottom and see who comes out first. So those are really fun that are also family multi-rider attractions that
Mhm.
are really big and cool. Kind of new. There's so many crazy stuff that people are doing with water parks now though that are really cool. But a water coaster I think would be fun.
That would be cool if we had something like that. I got on one in went to this water park in California a couple years ago. I don't remember the name of the park, but yeah, it was a water coaster, and I think it was 3. You can ride 3. 'Cause I rode it with my sister and one of my cousins, and that was pretty fun. And that was the first time I ever got on one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also got on this other ride, which was scary. It was probably like their tallest one, and it was a mat ride.
Okay.
But we had to go head first, and
Okay, it's
it's like it's got like little handles on the
yes.
mat.
So it's a mat racer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was scary.
Yeah, yeah, it was
That
scary.
was scary.
I
Yeah.
think those are really fun. I don't always know what kind of attraction we're putting in next. They kind of keep it on the down low.
Hmm.
And I've always thought that we would possibly have a mat racer. I thought that a mat racer would do well.
Hmm.
But I don't think we have any plans for that right now, but I always thought that maybe one day we would have one.
Yeah. And how do you guys choose what new attractions to add? You guys like go through like a brochure of stuff, or?
I mean, we're familiar with various slide manufacturers
Hmm.
out there, internationally or in the United States, but I think it's really centered on the what we think our customers or our guests want to see at the park. What kind of new attraction, can they do with their families or what are they kind of looking for? What kind of gap can we fill? There wasn't really a super high thrill attraction that could do with your family.
Mhm.
And so then in 2017, that's when we added Jaguar Falls. It's the one right next to the Condor Secret with the big wall.
Mhm.
And then, like clockwork, 3 years later in 2020, we added Condor Secret, another family raft ride that you could do. And those are both, thrill attractions that families can still enjoy together. So you
Mhm.
can still take your kids with you onto those attractions. They're not so high thrill that the kids can't go on them. So we're always trying to keep the family in mind and still have like unique attractions to this area that, if you don't have to drive to Phoenix or Dallas or Houston to go to a big water park with these cool attractions, we can bring that here locally. So I think it's really just focusing on what can we again provide to enhance that guest experience. What is the things that our guests want to see, or what is it that we're not providing right now that we could provide in the future? Are we lacking in one kind of attraction area for kids or teenagers or adults or something? And okay, well, how can we fit that into the park? And
Mhm.
where can it go?
Yeah.
We've got to figure that part out too. So it's a process, and these things are thought out well in advance. And I don't know all of it, but from that what I've seen in the history, that's usually how they try to decide which rides we bring.
Do you guys have do you guys physically have room to expand more, like land-wise? Do you guys own more land around the area?
I think we do. I
Yeah.
mean, if you think about like our entire parking lot, I mean,
Oh, okay.
it's
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
right? We've been kind of slowly expanding over the entrance of the park,
Yeah.
kind of that way, and
Towards like Wildcat. Yeah.
towards Wildcat. I don't know how far that would go, but we, as far as room, I mean, we've got plenty of room.
Just do a water slide that connects to La Tuna, and then it just like goes over the inmates, and then
Just wave like,
just wave at them like, suckers, this could be you.
yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah. No, yeah. So yeah, we'll see what the future holds. Again, being a family business,
Mhm.
we have plans for this. We have kind of dreams for that, aspirations for these big things, but we kind of have to pace ourselves and go one thing at a time and build and build and build over, a little bit at a time. And it's worked. I mean, Wet and Wild is we just celebrated our 45th season this
Wow,
past year, 45 years here in Anthony. So
that is crazy.
it's grown so much from when they first built the park.
Yeah.
And the park was built before a lot of water parks and theme parks were even made.
Hmm.
And so, now there's entire companies that build water parks from the ground up. And, there's a very kind of strict layout of where you put things and how you build a water park. That didn't exist when It Wild was started. It was just a family with a dream of, making a pool fun for their kids. And that's where we got our first fiberglass slides from. It was in 1979. They put two fiberglass slides, and those are South slides right now. And we still have those slides to this day.
Wow. With the resurgence of other water parks in the area, do you guys ever have like water park wars or anything like that?
Oh, I don't know about like a water park war. I,
Go
I
with
think
like
it's
water guns and just
that would be
drive by
so
them?
funny. I don't know if they'd be up for it. I mean, I'd be up for it. But it's great to see the city expanding and new things being added locally. It's what is that saying? Like when a rising tide lifts all boats.
Hmm.
When somebody else does good, it's good for everybody. We're excited to have new offerings in the city. I think they offer things in those locations that we don't offer. Especially in the Far East Side. Maybe those people don't have the ability to come out this far, or like I said, they think it's too far for them, or they want, something a little bit smaller scale. Than those kind of neighborhood pocket parks with the city are really cool options for
Hmm.
them. The Elmont has kind of the luxury market where they have really cool night events and stuff that they're always doing with DJs. And,
Yeah.
they kind of have like the residents that go there. We have big thrill rides, and we have the big space. We have the all day venue. We have the cook. You cook whatever you want,
Yeah.
barbecue, bring the carne asada and
Yeah.
stuff,
Hell yeah.
and bring your entire family. I mean, there's literally no limit to the size of groups that we can have. So I think it's just different offerings for different things. And you're having a specific want or a specific need. There's something in town for you, and we're here when you want to party.
Hell
That's
yeah.
kind of what it is.
Anthony exit
Yeah.
0. All right, Emily. Well, we're gonna start wrapping up because I think our cameras are gonna give out again.
No worries.
But anything you want to plug before we wrap up, or anything else you want to add?
Um, just the Magic of Lights is going through right now. It's happening every night through January 4th. We have discount tickets online. Check our social medias for discount codes that are, you can apply on top of the discounted online tickets. Traditionally for When in Wild, we have our spring break sale. So as far as I know, it's going to happen again in March. It's very popular. It's the buy 3 get 1 free on season passes. And personally, like, if you get a season pass, it's worth it. I'm telling you, like, if you just go 2 times, just get the season pass, you will get your money.
Yeah.
It is totally worth it. And if people are, on the fence, they're not ready to buy a season pass, we have something that's called dynamic pricing. So
Mhm.
that means that the earlier you buy your ticket, the cheaper that it is.
Oh,
And a
nice.
lot of people don't know that. So like whenever we open tickets, you can get tickets in July, in August for $15. I mean, that's
Whoa.
a great deal.
Yeah.
So, that price may change. The way that dynamic pricing works with, like, if you go to a concert or you buy a plane ticket, right? The earlier that you book, the cheaper that it is. And then if you wait too long, the price generally increases, right? So, and then at the gate, it's the highest price. So generally, if you buy your ticket early, you will get the best price. But if you're planning to go more than twice, get the season pass.
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
Get the season pass. Get your tickets early. It's worth it.
Yeah, and enjoy Magic of Lights while you can. Bring the whole family out and see some awesome holiday
Yeah.
lights.
Pack that car. Pack that truck. What's the craziest thing you guys seen so far right now? Anybody like in the roof of the car or anything like that?
Somebody told me that they packed the whole back of a pickup. I didn't see it myself, but
Yeah.
I heard through the grapevine, so that might be the craziest one so far.
It
But
sounds like something people
yeah,
would
yeah.
do. Yeah.
And people have brought their dogs with them. I'm actually gonna do a post pretty soon about bring your dog with you
Oh,
so
nice.
they can see the Magic of Lights.
Yeah.
So just keep them in your vehicle. But yeah, bring the whole family, including the dog.
Cool. Well, awesome. Thank you, Emily, for joining us and talking about it and giving us some insights onto Wet and Wild, and that's awesome. Sal, anything you want to add before we go?
No, I'm good. Thank you for everything that you did today and the comments and the insight as to what's coming up. So appreciate that.
Yeah, exciting things.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
All right, guys, go check out the lights. Make sure you guys give us a like, give us some comments, and thank you for watching another episode of A-Town Talk. Peace out.